In any market, it's so easy to get distracted by all the noise, right? The price charts, the headlines. But today, we're going to cut right through all that. We're going to look at what's actually being built inside the Cardano ecosystem, the code that's shipping, the foundations being strengthened, and the real-world growth that's happening right now. All right, let's get into it. And that's really the big question, isn't it? What does real progress in Web3 actually look like? Is it just a green candle on a chart? Or is it something a lot deeper? Well, we're going to frame this as a journey, one that starts way down at the foundational code and goes all the way to the absolute frontier of new technology. And, just like building a house, you got to start with a solid foundation. So first up, let's talk about the really important upgrades happening at the core infrastructure level of the ecosystem. This is the kind of work that often happens behind the scenes. It's not flashy, but it is absolutely essential. Without a strong, decentralized foundation, none of the cool apps or the massive scaling we're going to talk about in a minute would even be possible. This is the stuff that gives builders the confidence to build. Okay, a perfect example of this is the Atom bot. It's a key tool for a lot of developers in the community. Right now, it's being migrated to a brand new decentralized cluster. Now, the important thing here is that this isn't just some minor update, no way. This is a fundamental move toward greater decentralization, and it's what sets the stage for some major new features down the line. In this right here, this is a fantastic example of a real-world progress. World Mobile just wrapped up its first batch of 50 network builder auctions. And get this, all 50 of them are live and running. This isn't just a theory anymore. This is hard proof that people are genuinely excited about a new, decentralized way to help build out network infrastructure. Okay, so let's move up one layer. With that foundation getting stronger and stronger, we're now seeing a whole wave of apps that are moving off the whiteboard and, into the hands of actual users. This is that critical jump from R&D to delivery. Take a project like Atlas. You can see this process playing out perfectly. The core smart contracts, they're finished. Now they're in the audit phase. The yield token system is being tested. See what's happening? The heavy, deep research part is done. The team's focus has now totally shifted to execution, to delivery, and to polishing that user experience. And that coming soon feeling? It's kind of everywhere right now. Surge is teasing the public testnet for its next-gen privacy DEX. This is huge because it means another major DeFi building block, an exchange focused on privacy, is about to go live for everyone to test. This is the kind of tech you need for more secure and sophisticated finance. And hey, it's not just the new projects either. Established players like Surf are also gearing up for some big upgrades. This little teaser about leveling up, it just shows you that the push for innovation never really stops. The ecosystem isn't static. It's constantly improving itself. So, building cool products is one thing, but getting them into the hands of lots of people, achieving real-world scale, that's a whole different ballgame. Now we're going to look at projects that are doing just that, capturing serious market share and expanding their reach. Let's start with just one number, a really powerful one, from Strike Finance. They are on pace to do 8 times more volume this year than last year. Just think about that. That's not just a little bit of growth. That's explosive. Now, what's really crazy is how that 8x growth translates to their position in the market. Look at this. Just this week, Strike accounted for a staggering 77% of all volume on Cardano. That's not just growth. That's becoming a central hub of activity for the entire ecosystem. And here's the data that backs that up. We're talking $75 million in volume every week, $170 million a month. They're averaging 15,000 ADA in revenue every single day, and they've paid out over 1.6 million ADA to stakers so far. These are the hard numbers that show real traction. But expansion isn't just about on-chain volume. It's also about reaching out. CSWAP is pushing this hard with 2 major proposals in Project Catalyst. They're not content to just stay in their own lane. They're trying to build bridges to bring in users and liquidity from 2 of the biggest players in the game, Bitcoin and Solana. Tapping into those communities would be a game changer. And speaking of expansion, World Mobile is doing it in the physical world. Through a new partnership with OKC Labs, they're extending their network into key markets in the Middle East and China. They're all about that community-led growth, scaling their decentralized physical network across the globe. All right, for our last section, let's look to the future. Beyond what's shipping today, beyond what's scaling today, what's being built on the absolute cutting edge?
And that brings us to what might be the next great frontier in blockchain: privacy.
Okay, so the key piece of tech here is something called zero-knowledge proofs. I know, that sounds super complicated, right? But just think of it like this. It's a clever way to do math that has both private parts and public parts. It lets you prove something is true on a public blockchain without having to reveal all the secret data behind it.
And this right here is a huge milestone. Pulse just open-sourced the very first smart contracts for a privacy-focused decentralized exchange, built from the ground up on Midnight, which is Cardano's privacy-focused sidechain. This is literally the foundational work for the future of private DeFi. Which leaves us with this final, very intriguing quote from Atlas. Remember them? We saw their progress on their main app, but this hints at something more. It's a look ahead, a little signal that all this work being done on these new frontiers is about to pay off. So the real question isn't just what's being built now, it's with all this incredible building, what comes next?